Welcome back to the Doctor's Reviews. For what I have today is something that I haven't seen in a very long time. As a matter of fact, I forgot that it was even a thing. It took me forever to actually find it. And then when I found out what I was looking for, it became super easy to find it. So apparently it's probably just a me problem, not actually anybody. Not actually it being super unwell known, because it does have over 600,000 views. So I'm guessing some things are going. By the way, recent update on my channel. We hit 22 subscribers, and I'm happy that every single one of you is here, and I cannot for the life of me stress how large I thought that would be. And one of my previous videos, the review for Sukata Sanjiro, I believe that's the one, the part 1 has reached over 400 views. So, holy fuck. I was not expecting it to get that high. I wasn't even expecting it to break 100. Why is that one so popular? That also being said, Waya no Liriano-san has also reached above 100 views, which that one deserves it. That one is... That's the good shit. Now, on to the next point of news. The next review. Now, the next review is of... you're probably wondering, if you've seen this title and you are familiar with it, then you're probably thinking, wait, didn't you already do a review for something that's a parody of Journey to the West? Well, I can do what I want. That being said, the doctor can prescribe multiple things at multiple times. This is a review for Iyashite, Agerun, Saiyouki. I'm white, so fuck you if I misspelled that. There's a single episode at the moment that I know of. It's 35 minutes long. The person that was credited for uploading it was at Oz. At as in the little symbol, and then OZ, like the way Americans do ounce. Ounce. Or, Wizard of Oz, whatever. I don't think that's the actual person who made it, or at least produced it, but that's the person who uploaded it, and I'm giving credit where credit is due, because this is special. Now, there are 18 categories in this, of which when I first went into it, I remembered a little bit of it, and I thought, wait, this has the struggle snuggle tag. Why do I remember it being so why do I view it so highly? That's because the actual tag itself is there for a different scene that is plot necessary. Right. Yeah, it's not actually there to get you off. Huh. That being said, if you do, shame. Shame on you. Degeneracy is an art, and you failed. Now, that being said, there are 18 categories in this because this bitch hits a lot of different places in the 35 minutes it has of screen time. And I gotta say, this is the first script that I wrote live while I was watching it. Every other script that I've written has been written after the fact of actually watching the series. This was written during it, so it's actually a bit longer. Now, that being said, let's get into what past me got written down. Now, the plot starts with the introduction to the characters, and that they are... What the fuck is my handwriting? That there are 3 characters. Well, technically 4, but... The 3 characters are the main girl, who is kind of a ripoff of Sun Wukong, aka Goku, as very well known across the kind of the main character of the whole, Journey to the West thing. Now, wakes up with her getting busy with herself in bed. So, and then you see her turn over, and she's like, "Oh, that was nice." Looks over at the clock. "I'm late," and then immediately gets in the shower. Like, if you're late, why do you get in the shower? What? Like, if I'm late for something, people gonna smell me. If I'm late to do anything, I'm like, "Oh, I better make myself presentable. No, I'm late. You gonna see me with fucked up hair and wrinkly ass clothes, and I'm not gonna smell good. This is about being on time, not being presentable. Get the facts straight. Now, when they find it, now they introduce two other characters, the timid but larger cup-sized purple-haired character that seems to be insanely popular. And I want to state beforehand that this series is animated a lot like you would say early 2000s, maybe late 90s animation. So heavy line work, but smooth animation all around. So it's a little older. I wouldn't say when particularly it is, how old it is, because I'm still under the mindset that 3 years ago was 2009, and I call horseshit on anybody who says otherwise. Now, after introducing the three characters, the purple-haired busty character, the main character who's kind of a balance in between a lot of different things with the most personality amongst the bunch, and the pink-haired short character who is really into food. Doki Doki Literature Club reference right now. Now, after it shows the characters, it shows her being late and then running to her job at, I assume, would be a mix between a maid cafe and a repair shop. I have no idea why the fuck those two things go together. 3 things I can count. I graduated high school. You don't know. Now, after they go there, they find out that all 3 of the girls have a magic pennant, which looks like, I want to say it looks like an open banana, but it resembles more like that yellow and blue berry you see in Pokemon. You know, the one that like Bidoof is always holding on to, where it's like it's yellow on the outside and then like the skin on it is blue. I don't know. If anybody knows it, put it in the comments, because I have not been caught up with my Pokemon stuff. Played it a lot when I was a kid. I have not caught up with it too much. It looks a lot like that, but it's pure gold. And the ability of it is that when they place it on an object, the object then grows extremities that can relieve the stress of the object in question, allowing it to be fixed almost immediately after the service has been performed on it. This is a very good way of me trying to tell you that you put a necklace on a motorcycle and the motorcycle grows a dick. Then the ladies do what hentai characters do, and then somehow it gets fixed. It's a very strange plot, but then again, what would you do if you walked into a motor shop and the guy and like the 3 girls are like, don't worry, we'll have it fixed, and you're like, oh shit, I forgot, I gotta go get like my CDs out just so they don't like mess it up, just to be safe, because I really like that CD. You turn around, you go back in, and they're fucking the tailpipe as hard as humanly possible while one of them is going to town on the stick shift. Now imagine that, but with anime maids that look an awful lot like characters from Journey from the West. And then there's the 4th character who is like, he's the guy that figured out, like, hey, I know what you're doing. And they're like, fuck, we gotta pay this guy off. Do you have money? I don't have money. Alright. I'll fuck him. And then they kind of just keep him on payroll as like, he helps out, but to keep the secret, they just fuck him and get it over with. It doesn't seem like blackmail, because it seems like they're like, fine. It's not like, no, I don't want to do it. It's like, fuck, it's my turn. Alright, out there. You know what, like that. Just exasperated more than it is reluctance. But then immediately after showing all that, it then switches scenes to an incredibly graphic part where it shows somebody in, I would assume, a brothel, with a whole bunch of androids. I know they're androids because it shows like the female form of it, and then it has little cracks that reveal stuff. And sometimes you'll see ones that's like they're missing arms, and you can see the mechanics in them. And it just shows like it's a good solid 2-3 minutes of just abuse on robot sex dolls. And it makes you feel sad. Like in the middle of it, I was sitting there just watching it, and I stopped and just. Are you okay? Should I fast forward? Like it's kind of hard to watch, and you're sitting there thinking like this better have a point, and it does have a point. Right. And it shows like the abuse of the actual robots. It's at least in a more NSFW way. Not exactly. Well, if they're programmed to have consent, then wouldn't anything technically be just normal? But then again, they were kind of beat up and torn apart, so like, whatever. It shows the robots getting abused, but then again, but yeah, I'm not gonna go further into that. And after each one is getting torn apart or messed up in some way, it then cuts to. It switches the tone from. It started out as the three girls in maid outfits going to a place where they fix them in like a mechanic shop. Then it switches over to two of those girls walking behind a horse who's carrying the dude, the asshole, who just kind of hangs out there. I'm going to refer to him as the asshole because that's so far what I got from him. And what happens is they're following behind, and the third one, the main girl, the Goku ripoff, is flying around on a little cloud. I'm just going to say Nimbus because I grew up with Dragon Ball like a real man. And she's flying around getting a whole bunch of different stuff while they have to slog it through the desert next to a guy on a horseback. So in a way to get faster, they kind of all pack onto the horse, and one of them like, giddy up, Hopper, giddy up, I don't wanna, but I'll eat you, fine, I'll hurry up, and then they hurry on down. All the way to this one town where they immediately go to a restaurant that somehow has a brothel right next to it. The asshole is the one that finds his way all the way to the brothel and sees a cute girl there and follows her in. So the girls that are there all decide like, hey, I want to go in there. Seems like it could be a good stress relief. If they all go in there, the guy finds the asshole finds the cute girl, and they all just kind of do hentai things while they're in there. Pretty damn good stuff. Like, oh, holy shit, this is some good fucking content. But that's for a later point in the view. Now they all go in there. They start picking out different girls. The asshole is still being exactly that, an asshole to the cute girl that he picks up, kind of giving her critiques like, you're not moaning loud enough. Can you please raise up your hips? Can you spread those out with your own hands? Can I lick that? Can I go there? Can I do this? And it's like, dude, shut up. Pussy is pussy. Just enjoy it. Now, this all being done while the Goku character is off very far away, kind of gathering food and supplies, has a little baby monkey that she carries around. I assume that's a reference to Journey to the West, but I haven't read it, or at least I've seen a summary of the first few stories. I want to know more because it sounds fucking ridiculous, and I really like it so far. But that being said, she's hurrying her way there. The guy ends up trying to go in a different entrance on the girl, and it's revealed that not only is the girl an android that was meant for pleasure, turns out all the girls there are androids, and they're also the abused ones who don't exactly take kindly to something that goes against their programming. That being going in the wrong entrance. Saying hole would be weird. I don't know why. It just feels weird. Tries to do that. That doesn't exactly go well for them. Yeah. Somehow that ends up leading to the character, like, the three characters who all have different girls in their room. All of them short circuit. And it causes them to, like, spread their arms apart into, like, tentacles that then get pretty goddamn good, not gonna lie. Alright, all of them start getting it on. The girl with the purple hair is probably having the least amount of fun. The dude, the asshole, got knocked out almost immediately, and the purple, or the pink haired girl who likes to eat a lot, she got the best deal out of all of it. That being said, the Goku character comes in and saves the day, beats two of the robots unconscious, and then has a pretty fucking epic fight scene. Like, really well animated, really cool, just everything going on, solid in every portion of what happens. Just a cool fucking fight scene. In which case, she then beats her and they all get knocked out. She doesn't destroy any of them, they just beat them. And then they all realize, hey, these things are machines and they've been abused for all this. Look at the scarring on them. Look at the breaks in their things. We should be able to fix them. In which case, they all put their medallions on them. The androids then grow an appendage that's useful for females. And then they go to... And then the girls transform from their sexy explorer outfits to sexy maid outfits, and then service the newly appendaged robots. Which I was not expecting, but it was a welcome surprise. Nice. After the service is actually done, they start to heal, they start to feel better, and it actually comes up with them having a pretty wholesome ending. With them telling the manager, take care of these things. Because if you don't, even if it's just equipment or robots like that, you'd still treat them right. But they were like, oh, you gotta treat it like you would any other person because that's how it goes. Oh, treat them the way that you'd want to be treated. Don't treat it badly. But in my mind, I was like, treat it nice. Because robots will fucking take over the planet. And I have seen Terminator too many times to know that that is bad. Treat them nicely. Fuck them kindly. And don't let them fuck you. Just get that in your head. Now that being said, they all have a nice day. They make sure everything is fixed and ready to go, and then they ride off into the sunset because they don't want to sleep out in the middle of the desert. Not realizing that they left the asshole behind, and the asshole ends up stumbling into a room filled with the androids and just kind of... I'm assuming he just stays there and doesn't do anything else. He just kind of sits there and he's like, oh, what's going on in this room? And then he sees a whole bunch of girls getting it on with each other, and he's like, whoa, nosebleed, cut to credits, end of scene. Now, the animation, I'm skipping straight into this, by the way, the animation on this, holy shit, it's some of the best that I've seen. Dynamic movement, multiple scenes that actually flow necessarily together, the art in it is great. It has that old school look while also having very smooth animations. The best I can compare it to is like the earlier episodes of Cowboy Bebop, which I haven't finished. I am very close to finishing it. So on that part, I'm going to give it a fucking 10 out of 10. This is my own personal rating. You can rate it whatever you want, but I am using this as this is a reference point for you to judge it on your own merits. Animation, 10 out of 10. Solid recommendation if you want to see it on animation quality alone. Now, characters. Very. There's actual plot to this, with characters that actually drive the plot forward for reasons that are understandable. The two characters that get the least amount of actual screen time, the two side characters who are the two side women that also help service the robots, they get the least amount of screen time, but for what they're there, they at least give off a good amount of like character that doesn't make them just one note. The Goku character is spot on and is a very good parody of the actual Sun Wukong himself. And even the asshole has a little bit more than being an asshole. Well, the robots themselves, they actually give a good reason for being just like, oh, angry, tentacles, everybody get away from me. Hey, they give off a good reasoning for it. And thank you to whoever wrote this for actually giving them character. Because that's very hard to find in things like this, and I am so happy that it's here. On the scale of rating it for, like, a basic anime, the first episode, I would give this a 7 out of 10, above average. I actually give a shit about the characters, but on a hentai rating scale, I give it a 10 out of 10. Yeah. Ratings for characters in hentai, 10 out of 10, and goddamn, it does it well. So that's two 10 out of 10s. Goddamn, I am enjoying this. And the content. Actually well paced. It doesn't take up too much of the runtime to make. It's one of those that it doesn't feel like it's just an excuse for sex to happen. It has reasoning behind the sex, and it has decent lengthening. It's not an entire episode of like, here's a little bit of plot, here's all the sex, or here's all the plot, and here's a little bit of payoff. This is payoff when necessary, plot when relevant. And it all poses together into a perfect episode that I would give a solid 10 out of 10. Now, averaging all that up, I am going to give that my final verdict of, I think, the first 10 out of 10. Perfect 10 out of 10. Would recommend this to just about anybody who enjoys the medium, who enjoys getting off, which I hope would be everybody, because, like, that's how sex works. I don't know. Or at least that's how masturbation works. This is a solid 10 out of 10. I would recommend to anybody and everybody. And I would like to give this my first ever 10 out of 10 Golden Sunset winner. The Golden Sunset. That's a little award me and my brother have come up with, where if something does exceptionally well in any way, shape, or form that earns a perfect score for stuff that we do, it could be, for at least my taste when it comes to not exactly safe for work anime, you know the word, or something that does it perfectly like this, or at least in my opinion does it perfectly, gets the Golden Sunset. Something that ends perfectly and then you think to yourself, that was beautiful. And it can also work the same for him when it comes to, I don't know, let's say just about anything, because he's the more creative one. I like my schedule, and I'm going to keep doing it. Now, that being said, I am going to get off for today. My name has been Dr. Doujinshi, and I will be back again within the week. Hey, I've got a lot of stuff to keep going, and a lot of stuff to keep going with. Now, until next time, I have been the doctor. Remember, wash your hands or I will cut them off. Have a nice day. Wear a mask if you go outside. Honestly, it's the smart thing to do. And, I don't know, pay your taxes? I don't know. Probably don't. It's not gonna matter in a few weeks anyway. Have a nice day.